Like I don't know. I don't. Every time it's like super cold or whatever, I'm just like, oh, now we gotta put on pants.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. Well, it has to be right. Like if it's summer, it was always weird in Jeff's basement. I'm just like, I gotta put on like sweatpants and wear a hoodie sometimes. It's like 100 degrees outside, but I'm freezing inside.
Yeah, just you're like it's too cold here. It's freezing in the winter.
I like a bunch of short pants that I never wore because I'm just like, it's
save it for Otakon. It's like what you like.
Yeah, but now that I got my own house, since the last time we recorded,
that's
I have bought a house.
When was that? In April, or was it?
Get that out of my face, man. Weebs.
Is it on?
So, guys.
Oh my goodness. All I got is stupid Crunchyroll. Man, let the town die. Even before that, because we started filming the first round in February.
Yeah,
and that's when I was house hunting.
By the time this comes out,
this specifically coming out?
I think so. I think I have 2 more episodes that haven't been put out. That are time travel episodes.
I don't even remember what we discussed in those.
Well, we had the Hogwarts one, the extra thing where the Patronus and stuff like that.
Oh, we might need to scrap that.
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
or just take our little Hogwarts part out of it and make it a separate thing. I don't remember what was going on in that episode.
So Hogwarts Legacy was coming out. You and George were pumped about it. And I
wasn't I?
Yeah, you were super pumped about it.
And then I played it. And now I'm not pumped up about it anymore.
You're like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think that's just getting into my... That sounds so weird when I just talk right over here.
I know, right? It's all the directional.
It's not. It's straight into it.
It's basically, think of the mic back here.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it's got to go through a tunnel to get to
Well, it's just like my mic, you can switch channels on it. So you can go from speaking directly into it to being omnidirectional or certain direction.
These ones, they don't do that because they're just dynamic. They require power from this.
Right.
Yeah, they don't have standalone or phantom power, as it's referred to.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Hogwarts Legacy. I started playing it. I'm like, this game's fun, but my old age, I can't. I don't have the patience for video games.
I have the same feeling with Pokemon. Scarlet.
So,
tell me your opinion on Scarlet before I tell you mine.
So, how far did I get? I got to where the world opened up.
Okay.
Where you could make your decision to go to the first gym or go start doing the Titan trials or whatever.
Yes. Or you can fight the gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a lot to do. I just want a linear path to go fight gyms. I'm not enjoying this. The pop-in is bad. The game feels slow. The game feels like it's running at 15 frames.
Yeah.
And I'm not enjoying myself.
Yeah.
So I put it down. And then I sat down and was like, okay, I'll give it a couple weeks. I'll wait for people to start getting to the end game. I'll wait for the VGC scene to start developing to see what competitive's like.
Yeah.
And then I'll make my decision if I want to go forward with it.
Okay.
So a couple weeks go by. I'm watching people stream, normal thing. I'm shiny hunting, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Some of these zones are massive.
Yes.
But they look
massive.
But they look very empty at the same time because they look like very low poly, like rocks and stuff. And you got these little tiny Pokemon running around these giant areas.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this feels empty and wrong. I don't like that. Then I looked at the competitive scene, and then with the terrestrializing mechanic and like everybody trying to figure it out, and then it just started getting like really flowcharty, looking at all some of the stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, this isn't. I didn't like Dynamaxing, but I enjoyed playing it at the same time because I understood it.
Right.
Terrestrializing, I understand it, but I don't understand the fun in it.
Right. It's like, what makes it fun? Is it because my Pokemon looks like a diamond?
Yeah, but it's just like, it's a defensive and offensive tool at the same time. Instead of just being, I'm going to be big and I'm going to nuke things. It's just...
Yeah.
It adds more 50-50s into it that I don't like.
Yeah.
And 50-50s are not fun in a competitive game. I understand there's going to be a lot of 50-50s, like Magic the Gathering, card games, even things like TFT where you gotta move things to the last team fight tactics and auto chess and stuff like that. You're making a coin flip of like last minute movements and stuff like that. But they're adding more 50-50s, in my opinion, with terrestrializing, and the competitive didn't seem fun. So after seeing all that, culminating it and gathering it in my little cauldron in my brain, stirring it up, I'm just like, it's time to put this down. And I archived the Switch and Pokemon and everything.
I agree with most of that. Yeah.
So if I'm going to go at it on a scale of 10, granted, my opinion is not very good. I didn't get very far, and I only got very baseline stuff of looking at the start of VGC and stuff like that.
Right.
Honestly, the game is below average. Looking at Sword and Shield and the development of the 3D world in that, going to the 3D world of Legends of Arceus, and then the 3D world of Scarlet and Violet. I had to think about it. Going to 3D world of Scarlet and Violet, I don't think there's enough jumps in technology and how good it is between those three games to justify it being fun and good.
Right. I agree with basically like most of what you said. So my opinion on it is I actually think it is like, it's cool.
Oh yeah.
It's an awesome idea, obviously. People have been wanting an open world Pokemon game,
Yeah. I agree with that too, like straight up. The idea of it expanding is cool to me. Yeah. It's not for me.
Right. The tall buildings or whatever makes you think like, wow, like this is a big city and stuff like that. Yeah. They do feel a little hollow, right? But that's not the point about
like,
it. Yeah.
At the same time, they can do that. They did that in the past with Gen 5. When you first
X and Y, right?
No, that's Black and White.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They got the sense of a big city and big buildings.
Yes.
When you first cross that bridge, and they use camera angles.
All the 2D Pokemon games had like a sense of like scale to them.
Yeah, I mean, even going all the way back to Gen 1, like Saffron City.
Yeah,
it's a big city with skyscrapers.
What's the one with the ghost town?
Lavender.
Yeah, Lavender Town. That one like felt so like impactful.
Even with all their basic sprites and everything, they give you it felt like a good sense of scale.
Yeah, and these ones don't have that. They all look like the same city.
It feels like the scale went big.
Yeah,
but not everything went to scale with it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and the big thing that I'm having the problem with, right? I have played this game for 6 hours. Guess how many gyms I've beaten?
One.
I've gotten to the second gym.
Well, it takes like 2 hours to get to like the first classroom because of the slowdown.
Yeah. Well, just the time it takes to get to these places. Right?
Yeah.
It took me like 3 hours just to get to the first gym.
Yeah.
Took me. It didn't take very long to beat it. And so you just go to the challenge and then fight the gym later, right?
So it's like, I understand they cut out a lot of time because trainer battles are optional now.
Yeah.
And pretty much all wild battles are optional now.
Yeah.
But even with that, the travel time and the slowdown.
Here's also the other thing.
Hit me with it.
They do the thing that I thought was a good idea until I played it. And I'm like, oh, this is a really crappy idea.
What?
Where you can go to whichever gym you want to, and they're all specifically leveled. Like, there's actually a specific order you're supposed to do them in.
Yeah.
And then, but you can do the hardest guy first or whatever. Mm-hmm. The second gym I get to, this is like 6 hours in. Mm-hmm. This second gym I'm at, the guy's like he has like level 35 Pokemon. Yeah. And I can't control anything like higher than like 22 or something like that. And I'm like, I have one Pokemon that's level 30, and I'm like, oh, it took me all the way to get to him because they're like, you have to order the special secret menu item or whatever. And so, and I was like, oh, let me just try guessing it. And then I guessed it, and then they're like, no, you're wrong. And then I was like, oh well, I'm just gonna look it up. I looked it up. I was one ingredient off, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. How did I almost get it perfectly? If I got that perfectly, I would have been like, I would have flipped the controller. I'd be like, Pokemon Master. Yeah, I get it. So I'm not fighting anyone. I get to the gym, and the guy's like completely over. Like he just demolishes me, and I'm like, oh no, I have to go and travel the opposite direction that I came. Like 2 hours that way just to get to the gym.
When I was watching people play, I watched somebody accidentally catch like a level 60 Dragonite before they got to the second gym, and they're like, oh, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. Yeah. And they got a high level Dragonite. They're like, I guess I'm just going to breeze through the game now. But so the feeling I get that people maybe wanted a harder game or something, but it feels like an archaic design in the sense of going back to the original Final Fantasy when you can accidentally go to a wrong area and you fight a pack of 10 wolves that you shouldn't be fighting right now and your game can just end. Yeah. That's what this game design feels like. And that's not fun to me. When you can... Yeah. The way you can go through the game is you talk to the open field Nurse Joys, and they point you in a generally right direction. Yeah. That doesn't feel fun to me for a Pokemon game. Well, like, if it's so open world with no, like, distinguishing thing other than you show up in an area and you get your ass kicked for no reason, that's not fun. No. I like a build-up to figure out why this area is like... Xenoblade kind of does the same thing, the Xenoblade Chronicles, where they got random high-level enemies in the area, but it feels like you should be in the area because it's all lower-level stuff there, too, that you should be fighting. You just got to learn to, dodge the big stuff.
Yeah. It's doing the problem that it's like, we're going to get a burnout on this, obviously. And stuff just like we've gone with zombie games, just like with, I guess Battle Royales haven't fully gotten there yet, but Battle Royales, have gotten there. But the open-world game... not going to last. Like, they're still going to be around.
Some will stay around because, the Zelda formula is working phenomenally. People love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
But when people are doing, when EA is doing all these crappy, open worlds, and then Pokemon's jumping in, and they're doing, a crappy job at it and stuff like that. It's not... Keep in mind, the game is pretty fun. Yeah. There's probably a bunch of kids who love this game so much. And if I was 10 years old, I'd love this game to death, But it doesn't. I don't have the time for it. I'm 6 hours in. I've beaten one gym. And I'm in the wrong spot.
I think the people that are crying for give me the full Pokedex and why aren't you advancing the game anymore, graphically wise? I don't think Game Freak should be listening to that crowd.
It's also a smaller crowd,
right? But you had a formula that was really good. Yeah. And now it just feels like you're just catering to the masses to get this mass open world. Yeah. When we just want to go beat gyms and shiny hunt.
Here goes to show or whatever. It's, what's it called? I think people also want something different from Pokemon. They want the weird Coliseum games. Mm-hmm. They want the weird, well, I'm probably the only one who wants this. I want the Battle Revolution from the Wii.
I mean, those games are fun. Yeah. It's Pokemon, but with a different formula, but it's still, Pokemon.
Dude, I'm okay with Stadium, dude. If we're just doing battles or whatever and stuff and there's no focus on, the challenge.
When you go on to Twitch now, and you go to Scarlet and Violet, the top people that are playing under Scarlet and Violet are people that are playing ROM hacks of Fire Red and stuff, where they make the game hyper competitive and stuff like this and things like that. But then the other people you see are just people, I'm not, going to trash them or anything, but, it's not high count viewers and they're just sitting there, with their little group of people and they're shiny hunting and, having a chill time. Yeah. It's not before when you can go into Sword and Shield and stuff, you would see VGC players, shiny hunters, ROM hackers, and it was a pretty decent size. And then you would see VGC tournaments pop up, and then the channel would, the section would grow. I don't care about the Scarlet and Violet section at all now. It just doesn't feel like all the content creators I know that do stuff where they're just not doing Scarlet and Violet stuff. They're still going back to Sword and Shield because it's easier to mod. They're doing all these ROM hacks because they're easier to mod. They're just more fun. They get more viewers.
Yeah. Dude, think about it this way also, whatever. Think about if you were to do Nuzlocke, Scarlet and Violet. Think about how, there's so much random stuff that could happen in it that could just end the game instantly.
I mean, even in Sword and Shield, they had to completely change Nuzlocke rules because, the open world stuff. Yeah. And Scarlet and Violet is just there's no distinguishing routes, there's just open world. You can just die instantly.
Yeah, isn't it weird that Sword and Shield seems like a gem? In comparison to this game or a little bit.
It might be rose tinted goggles kind of moment. It's just the new one sucks. So we're going to look back at the older one, even though we know the older one also sucks.
Yeah.
What they did was hey, this is kind of better. But I'm sure maybe whatever, Gen 10 or whatever comes out next, we'll look back at Scarlet Violet. He's like, maybe it wasn't.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it wasn't that bad. Because who knows what they can do next.
We're going to be like, I miss the good old Scarlet and Violet days.
Right.
You know?
Because, I mean, when X and Y came out, I was like, this doesn't feel, the best. I don't really care too much. And then I started playing Sun and Moon. I was like, I really want to go back to X and Y because it's actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
Sun and Moon, I think Sun and Moon are genuinely bad.
Well, yeah.
Because when I was playing Sword and Shield,
played those two yet,
when I was playing Sword and Shield, I was like, I don't really feel like going back to Sun and Moon.
Right.
So I think Gen 7 is genuinely bad, Sun and Moon. Right. But like Sword and Shield, like where Scarlet and Violet is now, I was like, I genuinely think with all of its flaws, Sword and Shield was good.
Yeah.
But I can't say the same thing about Scarlet and Violet. I don't know if I can say the same thing whenever the next gen releases.
Right.
So
because it's like, what are they going to go from here? They're going to keep the open world thing? Because Scarlet and Violet has like, I think it's sold really well, but it also has like a ton of returns.
Yeah.
Like on it. Yeah. So, which I guess if they're returning them to like GameStop or something like that, that's not really a big deal for.
Yeah. I'm just worried because, they're doing the pattern now of they release the game, they do a remake. They might have a mystery dungeon. They might have a like an RC style game now.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't botch Gen 5 if they remake that, because that is genuinely my favorite generation. So
5 is black and white. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So at the same time, the one I haven't played that one. I haven't played Sun and Moon, and I haven't played Gen 2.
Gold and Silver.
Yeah. Those are the three that I haven't played.
Right.
And so I'm like, man, it'd be really cool to go to Johto again.
I would suggest you play
Soul Silver and Heart Gold.
Well, yeah, that and Gen 5 Black and White.
Oh, right.
Because those are genuinely good games.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the story, but the fact that they did all the moving sprite work and everything. It was the last gen they did all that special sprite work. It looks good.
Yeah. Because that was one of the things or whatever. I was let me see, Diamond and Pearl was cool. It didn't have as like a cool aesthetic to it, in my opinion, as Gen 3 though, and stuff with Sapphire and Ruby.
I don't really like the Gen 3 look.
I'm a big fan of it just because it feels more, in a sense, muddy with like the mountains and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and something about it stands out to me. Or whatever.
So I know Gen 3 is used the most in ROM hacks because it's the most easily moddable.
Oh?
Because Fire Red and Emerald as base games are the most moddable and easily moddable that people can use outside tools on. And people made some really wild stuff.
Okay.
So I know Gen 3 is in the community is going to stick around forever because of how moddable those games are. And what people have done with them is insane. But I don't like the way Pokemon's going, and it genuinely makes me sad because it's such a huge part of my life.
Well, I mean, like there's like a lot of Nintendo stuff that I'm like, I'm not a big fan of where they're going. Like even like Star Fox and stuff like that. But
I mean, at the same time, I think it's also that I'm getting old and I genuinely don't enjoy playing video games as much anymore.
That's true. That's true.
But at the same time, I thought I was going to sit down and be like, Scarlet and Violet, just Pokemon, I'm going to get through it.
Yeah.
And then I played it and I was like, shit.
Yeah. I was like, Diamond and Pearl, I've already beaten this game. Let me play the new one and stuff like that. And the new one's not bad or anything. Yeah. But I'm just like, oh man, I forgot like how like sometimes tedious this game is a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I was playing through it too, and it's like I've played it before, and there's not going to be a competitive scene to it, and I'm not too crazy about it.
Yeah.
And then Arceus came out. I'm just like, I'm not having fun.
Yeah, Arceus is definitely like a different direction they're going.
Yeah, I think it's not for me anymore.
Right.
Unfortunately, as much as I hate to admit it.
Yeah, it's like let's get a linear. I'm telling you, dude, something cool like Coliseum is always what I've been thinking about. I'm just like, let's get some edgy Pokemon stuff going in. Like not even like necessarily like violent, just like make the character like an edgelord. I mean,
that's like when they released Origins.
Yeah.
It's like it's not your happy-go-lucky story, or even like the YouTube series for Gen 8.
Yeah, what was that one called?
It's like on Soaring Wings or something like that. Some weird thing. but it wasn't grimdark.
No,
But it was
no.
vastly different from the
Yeah.
normal, hey, shonen Pokemon anime power of friendship kind of deal.
It was like, here's what it would actually look like if they were like fighting.
Yeah,
And that's
like
all-
like a realistic kind of thing.
yeah. Like Charmander, getting or biting. What is it, Squirtle or no?
Yeah.
Squirtle biting Charmander.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah,
Yeah,
It's just like Riven and Boone or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, he's biting me.
yeah,
Yeah, something like that.
that would be fire.
Yeah,
I mean, I've brought it up with you guys 1,000 times, the Adventures manga where Narbog gets sliced in half, and people are dying, and
yeah.
it's wild what they can do, but they don't want to because it is a kid's IP essentially.
This is true. It's also surprising that they're keeping with the kid stuff because it's technically not actually Nintendo. Nintendo
Right.
just licenses the games,
Right.
and stuff.
Right.
So they can kind of do what they want with it, but at the same time, they're like,
So
it's kind of too
yes
big,
and no.
Yeah, I know.
So Game Freak makes it, but I do think they have to listen to Nintendo and be like, hey, we're here to make money.
yeah.
So you're beholden to us.
I'm just saying, dude. Give me a steampunk setting or whatever where people are like stealing dark Pokemon or something like that. Give me a movie setting.
It's what I'm. You think give me a movie setting, but then you think about the movies they have released. You got a stack of them sitting over there, and it's just
Yeah, right? Give me Latios and Latias adventure.
right. But I mean,
Anyways,
their movies are so cheesy.
oh yeah, they're so
cheesy.
yeah. The ones that have like, or the one that probably has like the most like impact on like the actual story is like Forever, and that's about it. And it's barely even scratching it.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, there's some genuinely good like stuff in there. Like the third movie where Entei is going ham with the fight with Charizard.
yeah,
That's genuinely good.
yeah.
But a lot of it's just fluff to sell the new legendaries.
Look at the new Entei.
Yeah, so it's just that's all I can say.
Yeah.
I'm disheartened at the franchise, but I do hope it stays around because it is a good franchise.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
not for me anymore.
Yeah, so Pokemon's one of those things that it's, it can stay around. We'll allow it.
I don't think it's going to die.
Nah, it's kind of like, what is it, like my like top 5, like
Yeah.
best, like
It's just ingrained in culture now.
yeah,
So-
it's one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
ever, so.
So it's not going to die.
Well, moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Moving on to anime.
Yeah.
Anime. Which
Yeah.
what have you? I may have glanced at what you've been watching,
creeping.
but I think I forgot.
You're creeping.
Yeah, I've been creeping.
So since we last recorded,
Yeah.
I watched some stuff that I don't remember.
Okay.
This is gonna give me a second.
I know that feeling.
Well, I know what I watched recently.
Right.
But there was some stuff maybe like a month or two ago that I might have watched that I don't remember. So I have to
Yeah. You gotta double check.
I gotta dig.
Most of my stuff has just been the airing stuff,
Yeah.
and then also like Honey and Clover.
Yeah.
Dig.
I gotta go to the actual website. Because
Isn't that weird how it works that way? It's like it works just fine until like you want to do something specific. Like
well, I want to go back further in my
Yeah.
history. But
I think you have to go to list, go to completed input by like newly added.
on the mobile app,
Maybe.
can I?
Yeah, you know the filters that they put on them?
Oh,
Yeah, you say
my list. Oh, that's the manga list.
yeah, recently added or something like that. Or newest first. Something like that.
Last updated.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
When did we stop?
It was back in February.
Okay, that's when I watched
Yeah.
the Yakuza guy.
Oh, wait. So we didn't do BakaTaka for it, but the last time we did it was before we watched The Outwaters.
Oh, we're not. Gonna
Yeah,
talk
I
about
know.
that. Yeah.
I just wanted to bring up that
Yeah.
movie sucks.
I don't know.
It's pretty crap.
It's your generic
crap.
horror movie that doesn't have a big budget that's trying to be like the Blair Witch Project.
I Well, so I watched that. I was so upset or whatever. But
Did you go and watch the Blair Witch Project?
No, but I have watched The Shining
Uh-huh.
since then or whatever for the first time. And I was like, this is awesome. This is how you do like a horror movie.
So, I mean, it's a different genre of horror movie, right?
Well, different recording style.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so Outwaters, now that we're getting into it, it's found footage horror movie.
Right.
Akin to Blair Witch Project and Cloverfield,
Right.
which if you're going to watch found footage horror movies, watch those two instead of Outwaters.
Right. Yeah.
But I wanted to see Outwaters because it was hailed as genuinely one of the scariest things ever made. Then I watched it. I'm like, this isn't incredibly scary. It's more weird than anything. But moving on.
I wasn't scared. I'm not scared. Like I get. I'm like the baby in Spirited Away. I'm not scared.
I mean, Ben fell asleep, so
He fell asleep.
yeah. I mean, I lost interest in it when it got super creepy. But we're not talking about that bad movie. The last thing I remember talking about on BakaTaka, which hasn't been edited yet,
Time travel.
is Goku Shufudo, the Netflix. The guy who was in the Yakuza, but then he got out and now he's married, living in an apartment.
Oh,
and it's
the way the house has been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that. I wish they would just put English names.
I think you have to scroll down or something. I don't know.
No, well, I mean, I can go to the show and they might have.
It's a dumb app. It's a dumb app.
Yeah, you have to go to it, and then English, the way of the house husband, which was the last thing I watched on from when we recorded.
Yes.
Yeah, but since then I've watched some more stuff, and I've read a lot of stuff too. But from that point, I watched The Eminence in Shadow. Amazing show! Oh my goodness, I love that show so much.
I saw an episode.
I loved it so much. I immediately bought the 4 available. I think the 5th and 6th novels might be available now.
So the anime doesn't end.
No, so
It's
the
just
anime
like-
covers the first 2 novels,
Oh.
and there's 4 or 5 novels translated in English right now.
So it's only like, okay, so we're getting a season 2.
Oh, season 2's already announced. I think that's why I watched the first season, because I saw the second season announcement. I was like, yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I sat down a Saturday morning, and I was done with the show that afternoon. I loved it. The show was great. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I think I put it in my top 10 favorite list.
What? Give me the selling point. Sell me on the Eminence in Shadow.
It's got a very extremely high-powered main character who is, you don't have to like him. He's just in the show. It's absolutely hilarious what he does. He's a no F's character, right?
Yeah.
He knows he's strong.
Yeah.
And he's very Deus Ex. When something goes wrong in the show, he's there to fix it.
Okay.
But he's a chuny.
Okay.
So
Okay.
whenever he does something, he understands, right, that he should be doing something right. But like he has to be a chuny.
Yeah. So does
So like the way they have his character, it's like you feel like he's doing something because it's chuny.
Yeah.
But like he also says stuff and does things where you're like, oh, he understands what's going on.
Okay. So
But then he still acts like a chuny.
does he know he's a chuny?
He knows he's a chuny.
Okay, gotcha.
He straight up knows he's a chuny.
He's chuny to the max.
Yeah. Like he is in it. He's like a prepper, in real world.
he's
He's
a
a-
doomsday chuny.
No, so I mean, not prepper specifically. He's got that mindset of like,
Yeah.
you'd be like, he'd be a prepper.
He's a doomsday chuny.
But like, he knows it's weird, but he does it anyways because he likes it. Kind of deal. So like, what's going on in this world that he gets isekai'd into
yeah.
is like some delusion that he made up in his head,
Okay.
but like it's actually happening in the world. So like this organization or whatever he makes up is real. The people he adds to his following actually do his bidding, and everything is going on.
So you're saying it all happened because he thought about it.
I don't know because I don't know the intricacies of the story, and I haven't read the novels exactly.
Are you saying that Eminence in Shadow is just like Chaos Head? Which I just finished rewatching this morning.
What I'm saying is the show is great, but that's just the main character. You got a whole cast of other characters that are doing stuff, and it's a lot of politics and world building, all the generic stuff that I love a ton. You got an overpowered main character, world building, politics. those characters, you can see clear power levels when things are going on,
Yeah.
which is actually nice to see because I got another complaint about a show that I watched. And then the main character comes in and he's legit broken. Like he's just, he's having fun while he's fighting.
Yeah. Okay.
And these people are like throwing out skills that are blowing up the planet. And he's just like chunily in a weird Japanese accent saying, I am nuclear. And then he blows up and everything just is over. And he's like, okay, I won.
I have seen the first episode. I see that he like the girl gets captured. He knows she's gonna get captured, and he's like, wait a second, I can't come in yet. I can't come in yet. It's not my time yet. Yeah, he's like,
it's like Overlord, where it's just like he does stuff and then things just happen, and some things are just fall into place even though he doesn't intend it to be.
Right.
Because he's being all chuny and stuff, and a bunch of stuff is happening behind him that he doesn't know about. But like everybody's following him because they see him as this great thing, but he's just like, I'm a chuny.
Yeah.
So he's just like living.
Taco Flame Master.
Yeah, so he's just like living in his own delusion, but everything is his delusion's like real and happening. So it's just like
I see the appeal.
It's a great show. Like I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, Aaron was trying to sell me on it, and I was like,
dude, Aaron's the boy.
Aaron
knows what's up.
Well, the thing is, he's not the best at selling things.
Right.
Because I watched it and I was just like, pretty basic.
I mean, it's super basic at the start because they're setting up as like generic isekai.
Yeah.
And then you actually get into it, and it's world building. Characters are rising and falling. A bunch of crap happens, and you're just like, oh, I genuinely want to know what happens next.
So, yeah, he gave me like an unsatire opinion of it.
Okay.
And stuff, which is not what I needed to hear. I needed to hear a satire opinion of it.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So, I mean, the show is satire in the sense that the main character is, just a delusional chuny, and he's just having fun, essentially. But at the same time, like, his delusion is real to this world.
Okay.
I wouldn't say, like, he's projecting it and making it real. It's just whatever he fancied is happening.
Okay.
It's just like whatever he thought up was like, oh, this world, that's where it's happening now. So I would say there's probably some theory of whatever delusion he had in the previous world when he died and he came to this world, like it's happening, but like.
So it's just like Little Busters.
Yeah. But he's just making BS stuff up and happens, and all these people are reporting to him of all this other stuff, and he's just like, okay, cool.
So it's just like Angel.
And then he goes and does something, and his followers are just like, we couldn't expect you, like, we can't understand your movements. You're so far ahead of us. And he's just like, I'm just, kind of thing.
So, okay, I understand. I get what it's going.
The show is, you have to give the show, even if you don't like Isekai.
What, why do they follow him? What's his grand scheme for why they follow him?
So at the start, he wants to stop the cult of Diablo or whatever.
Okay.
Which he like made up on the spot because he like kind of read it in a book.
So he makes the bad guys exist.
Right. But they're a genuinely real thing. And he saves an elf girl because he has the power to like clear their corruption or whatever.
Okay.
And he can dispel the magic and all this weird stuff that's not possible.
Okay.
So they're following him because he's strong.
Okay.
But it just so happens he saved this elf girl who is also like got ties to this other person who's really strong. It's like it's a chain of events, and he's just like he saved a person on a whim, and it's just a chain of events of them doing stuff, and he's just like, I'm up here doing whatever.
Right.
But they all look up to him because it's like, oh, he's effing strong.
Okay.
So it's like he's doing stuff accidentally here and there, and all that accidental stuff is them revering him as this like super strong person. So he's genuinely strong, but he's just like living in his delusion while all these other people are living it.
Okay. Yeah. So he's happy, and they're all just like, oh no, we're getting attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's just like he's trying to like fake this normal life of being like super normal, and just like he'll explain his actions. He's like, this is the most normal way to get out of it, to be not noticed. And then something goes wrong and he's noticed, but he's got to like do other crap. It's a fun show. I might be explaining it a little bit wrong, but you got to watch it. It's great. I love it.
Eminence in Shadow.
Yeah, Eminence Shadow. I loved it. So from there,
where do we go to?
More Isekai.
More
Isekai.
I'm as you know, I'm the biggest fan of Isekai.
I know you love it so much. You love listening to me talk about Isekai.
I like hearing about a show that I'm not gonna watch. So
I had to travel to High Dive for this next one. What I didn't realize...
Did you have to travel to High Dive for the last one?
Did I have to travel to High Dive for the last one?
I think you had to.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, no, that was on Crunchyroll.
Is it?
I had to travel... No.
I think I know it's on High Dive. I don't know.
But I don't think I watched on High Dive. But I had to go to High Dive for this next one.
Yeah.
High Dive app is really bad.
It's so bad.
Their app is atrocious.
Me and Aaron talk about this all the time. Yeah.
They don't have a smart TV app.
Nope.
And their website isn't the easiest to navigate either.
Their website requires you to log in even if you hit remember me.
Yeah.
On it every time.
So the way I had to watch it on my TV, since they don't have apps on anything, I don't have a Roku or anything, I had to subscribe to High Dive through the Amazon channel subscriptions. So you need an Amazon Prime, and they got the different channels you subscribe to. Like you can get Paramount Plus and all the stuff through Amazon.
Yeah.
So I got High Dive through Amazon. Right.
It's one way to do it, I guess.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was like the only way I could watch it on my TV.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And I watched Reincarnated as a Sword.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I like the novels.
Okay.
The novels are good, but you're just like, oh, it's an overpowered sword wielded by a cute cat girl. That's the show.
That's the whole show.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I mean, there's stuff going on, but you're just like, it's an overpowered sword wielded by a cute.
So
cat
what
girl.
does he just do? Does he just sit there and like is he like
he's just a
Kirito in
sword
wheelchair Kirito?
So he's just a sword, and he can communicate with the cat girl.
Okay.
And he's got a bunch of skills that he can transfer to her. And it's just them doing things. So it's a weird show.
Okay. It's kind of like Soul Leader, but without Soul being able to turn back into.
Yeah. And then like, weapons got different like class levels and stuff like that. And he's a higher one because he's sentient.
Right.
And then
can he talk to her?
Yeah.
Okay.
He can talk to anybody, but he tries to hide it.
From you.
He tries to hide it because
it's
you don't want to be targeted.
OP.
So it's just like it's. I wouldn't say it's generic because it's unique. Because like dude's a fucking sword.
Right.
But you're just like, this is not the best. Because I know in the novels, you start reading it for a while, and you just sit there and think, this sword gives her all her skills. Because there's an arc where she loses access to the sword, and she's pretty weak.
She's got nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you think about it, you're like, oh, the sword gives her all her power. I know later on in the novel, she develops her own skills, and she's genuinely strong.
Right.
But right now, you're just like, this feels off. Because the sword's the overpowered one, and
he's doing all the work pretty much. She's just the one.
Yeah. She does all the work. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's it's a generic show. I think, what did I give it? I gave it a 7, which is still pretty high.
But very generic. Yeah,
it's very generous. But I genuinely enjoy it because I was reading the novels. And
yeah,
I like it.
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So from there,
do you have the cheat skill one?
No.
Okay.
No. I ignore it. I did not like that. I don't like the novel. I don't like the show.
Because I'm one of the 3 people who are watching that one. So I'm like, all right. I was like, maybe he's number 4.
No, I glanced through some of the novels of that, and I do not like the novels.
Oh yeah, it's super generic, but there's something about it that's I'm like, I'm like, it's a 5, but I'm still watching it.
Mm-hmm.
So
from there,
yeah,
I went to another isekai.
I can't see it. I can't see it. Am I supposed to guess?
You can guess.
Let me guess. An isekai.
I was just giving some silence. So like,
give me a hint. Because there's a lot of isekai for it to just be an isekai.
Here's a hint that's not going to help you, but I'll give it to you anyways.
Okay.
The main voice actor is Futaba's Japanese voice actor.
Okay, I probably didn't watch the Japanese version.
Yep. That's why I said it's not going to help you, but it's a hint.
Give me main character's hair color.
Yellow. Blonde.
Yellow and blonde.
Well, not yellow specifically, but blonde.
Yellow and blonde.
Yeah.
Yellow and blonde. Full Metal Alchemist.
What? An isekai, boss.
Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is an isekai.
Isekai.
It is.
It's a reverse. It's a reverse isekai in the original at the end. You can shut your mouth. We're not talking about that.
He's got blonde and yellow hair. He's got blonde?
Female. She.
Another hint.
That's why I said the voice actor is Futaba's voice actor.
Hey, I'm a little slow. Right?
Yeah, a little bit.
As
Alex Jones put it.
Have
kind of retarded.
Have I seen this show?
No.
Oh man, I don't know.
Here's another hint. I was reading the novel at Otakon last year.
You're reading the novel at Otakon.
Yes.
Slime has blue hair. At Otakon?
I was reading it at Otakon.
Is that 2 years ago?
Yes.
I
read the second novel.
I don't know.
I can give you a third hint.
Give me a
it
third
should
hint.
give it away.
Yeah, give me a hint.
Slime.
Is it the I killed a bunch of slimes
I've
and
been
got
killing
super
slime for 300 years. Became a max level witch. Yep.
I was like, how's that a hit? I was like, it's not. No. Okay. I killed. Wait, the title one more time. Give me the title.
Let me get the English.
Yeah. Give me the title.
It's something about killing slimes for 300 years, but I'll give you the full English title. That full English title.
I'm
I've
surprised
been
I
killing
knew that.
slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level.
I shouldn't have known that. Why do I know? Why do I know what that title is?
Because I think it's one of those things you just kind of saw and just like, oh, I'll just put it back in my head because this looks like generic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I was reading the novels.
Give me your opinion on it.
It's very generic. The novels are very generic. I
Okay.
gave the show a 5. That's also being generous.
That's
being generous.
They're both generic, but you're being generous for both of them.
Well, reincarnated as sword is generic in the sense that, yeah, it's isekai, blah, 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 fantasy, but it's unique because, it's a sword, some cool stuff's going on. They do a little bit of world building. And slime is just like, not reincarnated as slime, but I've been killing slimes.
Oh, right.
It's,
yeah.
It's just like, hey, we're going to, it's like a daily life thing. It's very slice of lifey. It's very generic.
Okay.
Not much goes on.
Okay.
It's very episodic.
All right, I understand.
It's got some likable characters in it. Like, I don't like the 2 slime daughters. I don't like them. Leica the dragon's kind of fun here and there.
Does she not kill some slimes?
She kills slime. Everybody kills slimes.
Yeah, but you said the 2 slime daughters.
They're her daughters because they're born from the vengeance of all the slime she killed.
And they're her daughters.
Because
So they're trying to kill her?
well, one's trying to kill her, but then they accept that.
She's their mom.
Well, one already accepted that, but one's like, I'm not going to beat you, or the skill she could have used to beat her got used, and then
She's the demon lord.
it's
You can't
just a
kill
bunch
her.
of BS. It's just like, okay, stuff happens. It just stuff happens, slice of life, the show, and she's overpowered, and you're just like, okay. That's why I said 5 is generous.
Yeah, I mean that's.
If I was actually going to rate it, it's like a 3 or 4.
Well, I mean, yeah, some people like give them like things like a 1 or whatever. And I'm just
1
like,
is cruel.
One is not actually true. Or whatever,
I've given
like
a
lot
few
of
shows
things.
a 1, but a show that I can give a 1 off the top of my head that is genuinely a 1
Yeah.
is Pupa. Genuinely a 1.
Yeah, pupa is yeah, that's pretty garbage.
That is a cruel rating to give a show. So I don't hand out a lot of 1s, and 10s are obvious masterpieces,
Right,
which
right.
is saved for major season 4 and or major season 5 and like
season
Legend of the Galactic
7 whenever
Heroes.
it comes out. Yeah.
Well, major second is major season 7.
So major second season
regardless,
2 is season 8.
I've been killing slime for 300 years is a 5. That's generous. If I was going to genuinely rate it, it would be like a 3 or 4. It's not good, but it's one of those things you just kind of sit down and read, because you can read one of those novels in like an hour.
Yeah.
It's like 200 pages of
So, I mean, I haven't even seen it. I've just seen the cover and I know the title, and I put my full-hearted agreament behind your statement.
I'm glad you agree with me.
Yeah. I know. I've not seen a single thing about it. I just know I've seen the cover and I've heard the title, and I'm like, it's generic.
I'm something of a Isekai connoisseur, if I say. I've read a lot of these novels, and I'm going to continue reading the slime novels. Both slime novels.
Both slime novels.
But it's just very generic. It's one of those things you just sit down for an hour, read the novel, and you move on with your day.
Okay.
If you want to read something basic instead of political world building and struggling to fight and
Or like Gundams.
well, like the thing with some of these other isekais, like they build up the other characters and you can feel their place in the world.
Right.
With I've been killing slimes, just like, hey, we're all just gonna live in a house and
It's a slice of life isekai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
those are the worst.
like not much is going on. It's like yeah.
It's the two worst parts about
Yeah. So like the slice of life parts are fun, like in Reincarnated as a Slime, but it's supplemented by they're building the world and other characters.
It's
with
not
it.
the first focus.
You
of
see
it.
the other main characters doing their thing.
Yeah.
And this is just like they live in a house and they do things.
Well, thanks for listening to this episode of BakaTaka.
Wow. I got more.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll have to save it for the second one. As always, with us has been George. Oh, wait. I was lying.
He ain't here.
He ain't here. He's at a wedding.
Is he?
Yeah, not his wedding. He's at a wedding.
Is he?
Yeah. So he'll probably be here the next time.
Whatever.
Also is Eric.
Yeah, that's me.
And I'm Chase. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one. Get out of here.
Later. On myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was
no,
always
no.
so annoying to hear you guys just say, hey,
You're
talk
too quiet.
louder.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
What are you talking about?
what do you want me to do?
What do you
What do you want me to do?
what do you want me to do?